So now I move over to my turmeric bed that I documented in the last video, and this was my last chance to save the pepper plants. Well, it turns out I was wrong. I actually saved 4. I thought it was 3, but I found this tiny little one. This is struggling right now, but there's no aphids, no ants, and I think it's actually going to survive. This was worse than the one I showed you, and so therefore I thought that it wouldn't even survive, but it has. So I have 4 ant-infested, aphid farming pepper plants, like the sharp pepper, and already I mean, this is just at 2 to 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks probably. There are no ants and there are no aphids. Now these 2 top ones here, these pepper plants, were the worst. The ants had fitted the aphids right into the head of the pepper, into the head of the growing area, and they were farming my pepper for their benefit. So, I mean, I don't mind the ants farm, but they can farm nature for their benefit. They're not going to be farming in my peppers. So this is an example of where I say control your environment, because if you don't control the natural environment, you see, a human being is a natural entity, and that human has to naturally control the growing environment. And this is an example of what you see here. I have turmeric, ginger, and some kind of jalapeno pepper. And the way I control my environment, naturally, right? Naturally, organically, no-till, no-dig, all of that. The way I control my environment is that I have various ways. This one way is a grow box filled with compost and straw. I make a straw base that I'll explain later. This is new, I'm doing this one for another reason. And then into that grow box gets topped up in straw to cut down on the ants, the bugs, whatever, nematodes and slugs and snails. And then into that grow box goes turmeric, ginger, and then companion planting, whatever I want to do. It doesn't matter, lettuce. In this case it's pepper. Well, one thing I can tell you, I mean, I knew that this would work because it's worked in the other tomato house that I have. But when I left 2 or 3 weeks ago, I thought, wow, is this going to work? Because these 2 pepper that you see here, man, the ants had destroyed the growing head. They had those black, green, aphid fly, whatever. They had embedded them into the flower head, the top of the plant. And then you can imagine like hundreds of ants going up and down, just to farm this sticky, sugary substance, whatever they produce. And then if you remove them, of course the ants put them back, because they're using your garden as a farm. And so this is why I say ants will control your environment to their benefit, and I, as a human living on planet Earth, can also naturally control the food growing environment, or it can be tree, or it can be flower, or whatever, but naturally control, because the ants use nature to control the environment and farm. So the human can cooperate, unify with nature. This is what I did, to naturally control the growing environment. And so what I did was, I did not kill any ants, I didn't use spray, I did not kill the aphids, I didn't use any substance, neem oil, whatever washing liquid spray. All I did was I had these pepper plants in an unnatural environment on the terrace in a pot, and all I did was I moved them and replanted them into an organic container, controlled environment grow area. And because I had seen it happen in the protection of the pepper happen in the tomato house weeks, months earlier, I thought, okay, I'll give it a chance and then I'll see. And sure enough, no ants, no aphids. So this is what I mean, there was no battle, I didn't do nothing, I just planted them. I just planted them in this protected environment, protected, controlled environment. I learned my lesson on the balcony or the terrace in a pot. It's not really a controlled environment, but this is natural in the garden, and it worked.